You can say it is a disease, sort of like typhoid or anything. You don't call it disease, you call it typhoid. So this one is called as dementia.
Dementia to me is something that robs you of a person. And that's hard. But you just pull your socks up and you get on with it, really. And I think people need to actually think, you know what? There's some funny stuff about this, and you have to laugh some days, even if it's something that you probably shouldn't laugh about, but it is funny. So you've got to actually look at the positive of something that's not very nice at all, really. But you just get on with it.
Learn to have patience. That's the main thing.
But I think it's also okay to be frustrated. Because I think sometimes you can feel guilty, that you feel, not exactly bad, but sometimes you get annoyed at the person. Well, actually it's okay to get annoyed because it's just how you feel. And actually if you do get annoyed, most of the time they won't realise in half an hour that you were annoyed with them anyway. As a carer, you've got to tell yourself it's okay to sometimes lose the plot, and it's fine, it's not an issue. Because I think if you tell yourself that you have to keep staying strong and not let things out and keep it all in, it's not going to help. A lot of interaction, you need a lot of interaction, you need to have some stimulation there, whether it be even a silly conversation or an old conversation of trying to ask them stories from before. I can't do Sudoku, but my mum can do it. If we make her do it, she's, sometimes she doesn't want to, but she will.
My problem is that she's always sleeping, yeah? Which is, I have to wake her up and she replies, I'm awake.
I'm the mum now, if that makes sense. So the relationship changes slightly between me being the daughter and her mum. And I think that's the hard bit.
Struggle, it is a struggle, but because I'm used to help her right from the day we met, right? So I don't felt that much different. The only problem was that I couldn't stay at home in the beginning.
For me, going in and doing the caring side of things, a lot of it's come about just as they've got older, you do it anyway. But the harder part to that is that the encouragement of making sure that mum is still involved, because that is sometimes really hard to do. One, because maybe she doesn't want to do it. She may not feel like interacting on that day. Another is making sure she's safe to be involved with something that we might do, like cooking.
I have to care, or I want to care. That's the thing. So I can't leave her alone. Sometimes I feel a bit, you can say, dispirited. But then I again goes back to the life and carry on.
Some days when I'm there, I can leave at the end of being there all day. I can leave and think, that was good, that was fun, that was a good day. And then there's other days I'll come away and I'm quiet because I just think that was not so good a day. The emotional roller coaster is ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. Me personally, I would say yes. I mean, luckily, I suppose for mum and dad in that respect, they're both very good with their English. they understand it fully, but that's probably because they'll talk to me in Punjabi and I always speak to them back in English, which I suppose a lot of generations it happens. But as to accessing things, I think, yes, there's definitely a block there. One of the things I would probably say is when we first started going to the memory clinic, our memory clinic nurse, she was fabulous, wasn't she? She was really good. And but the thing was, when she did the memory tests, she actually learnt to try and understand the words and the things that Mum might say on the memory test. So she knew the words in Punjabi, so that if Mum could remember it in that language, that was fine. Because that's another thing. Just because she can't think of the word in English doesn't mean she doesn't know. And that's something I think people really need to realise. So it is making sure that they don't confuse the language barrier with not remembering. And that's something that it would be good to address, really.
We should talk to each other, everything. That helps
Definitely.
a lot. If you any problem or anything you want to say to other person, say it there itself.
When things are changing and sometimes you have thoughts in your mind, you need to be able to be very open about those and realise, you know what, you're allowed to think like this, it's not a problem. Whether it's good or bad, there's no right and wrong. You are allowed to be vocal about how you feel. And that is something that you need to do, because if you don't, you'll go stir crazy.